High FM, 101.9 megahertz of life.
Let's talk to our guest. I wanted to get a little bit more information about what happened in Spain with Morocco and Spain at the end of last week, because there has been a tremendous amount and a tremendous attempt to make the story seem as though it's nothing. You know, they've all returned. Tens of thousands of Moroccan, and it seems like mainly males, swarmed across the border from Morocco into Spanish territory, and the result is over 70 people were killed. It sounds like chaos. And then, of course, predictably, we had online conspiracies saying, well, Israel must have been behind it. Gedaliah Blum, partner co-founder of the Heartland Initiative, he also runs a popular X account called Mossad IL. Gedaliah, very good morning to you. Firstly, for anybody who might have missed the story, what happened?
That's a good question. I mean, what we saw on the ground was a complete invasion of military-aged men into sovereign Spanish territory. Now, not on the European continent, which a lot of people understood that to be, but Spain still occupies part of peninsula of Morocco, which borders Morocco, and so you just see these swarms, thousands of people. You see videos of dump trucks just opening the back of their truck and watching, dozens of people come out, all military-aged men. And it was a shock to the system. I mean, these guys were some of them didn't even have shoes or shirts on. It was just the most bizarre kind of scenario. You didn't even know what to make of it. And then you saw some videos of the Moroccan military in uniform opening the gates, the border gates, and letting these people through. So the whole thing was like, it was a shock to the system, because yes, there was many people from Africa, from the Muslim countries, getting on boats and going into Spain, going to Europe on a regular basis. But this was something completely different. So it's really, there's a lot of questions about what was going on. What I do see, though, it was very well coordinated.
Well, I was going to ask, because how do you? I mean, there's nothing spontaneous about 65,000 men.
No. And obviously there's, listen, the social networks make it a lot easier. And if anybody was monitoring them, any intelligence monitoring them would know exactly what's going on. You have these private groups, you have this, WhatsApp groups, whatever. There's, the Moroccan government intelligence for sure knew about it. How could they not? They also were seen, letting them in. So this seems to be maybe their way of fighting the Spanish occupation. I don't know, maybe they still have territorial disputes with Spain over the territory that is continuous to Morocco. You know what? I'm not an expert in it. I don't want to purport to be, but that's kind of the way that I see it. I do know this. I do know that for many, many decades, hundreds of years, Spain was previously conquered by Muslims. It was run by Muslims. It was conquered by Muslims, and then they were thrown out. But under Islam, there's something called Dar Islam, which is the House of Islam, and which means once you take control of a land, you cannot relinquish it to non-Muslims. So they still have these aspirations of taking back Spain. You hear it in the jihadist chat groups. This is what they talk about. This is actually why, to tie to Israel, this is why, while the two-state solution was still being spoken about as something that might be realistic, Benjamin Netanyahu knew this Dar Islam idea, and he would say, one of our prerequisites, requirements for a two-state solution would be for the Palestinian Authority to recognize Israel as a Jewish state. And that was the big word, not as a Israeli state, not as a Zionist state, but as a Jewish state. And that goes against Dar Islam. So we're seeing this connection between this kind of like world domination of Islam. And I'm assuming this has a big part to do in it. I'm not saying it has everything to do with it, but it's definitely a driver for the jihadists to be activated and go in.
How then does Israel get drawn into this? Because I started to see this online, these conspiracy theories, of course, about, well, this must have been coordinated by Israel. How? I mean, as if Israel really doesn't have anything else to worry about other than some obscure section of Spain in Africa.
Well, it's one of those biggest compliments, because if we could conspire to do so many different things that are so extraordinary around the world, what does that say about how we are perceived as a people? That we are extraordinary, that we have these capabilities, despite being only 15 million people in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe
we have to be the busiest people
very,
in the world, because it can't be, it's not without its commitment here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, nobody's accusing the Palestinians of taking control of the world or doing anything. It's the complete opposite. In fact, they're disabling them. They're saying they're victims. They can't do anything. And on the other side, they're looking at Israel and saying, well, you're doing everything. So at the end of the day, obviously, we laugh at it and we say thank you so much for the compliment. But at the end of the day, it's very clear. I mean, the people who are accusing Israel of doing every conspiracy that's happening today, that's just the way that they see the world. They see the world through this lens of they are pathetic loser people who can't explain things, and so they have to find a reason to make sense of it. And at the same time, they want to bring in this whole Jew hatred, and they want to bring down the Jews because we're a threat to them. We're a threat because nobody's accusing them, the accusers, of controlling the world, because they're low IQ people, and they're grifters, and they're trying to get this group of people who are disenfranchised with society, who can't make it, and they need to blame somebody for it. And so this is all part of the pattern. I don't pay attention to it.
Did it gain any traction?
I don't think so. I mean, listen, it's within the echo chambers, it's the same thing. I mean, how many times could somebody, the boy who cried wolf? I mean, how many times are you going to blame the Jews till people are just starting to get bored of it?
Yes, it's Charlie Kirk all over again. It's just a non-stop. Just to go back to the Spain situation. Obviously, we know that I think the official figures are around about 75 people were killed. Is the situation, from what we understand, stable again there? Have people remained in Spanish territory? What do we understand?
Again, everything is everybody's trying to cover up who didn't do it. Sanchez is saying everything's under control. The governor of the region is saying no, there's still 10,000 people on the ground, and they're like homeless, and they're destroying things. Yeah, I don't know. And again, I'm very suspect when reading the news, especially living in Israel and understanding how news is covered. So, I want to, I want to be able to be consistent and not say, well, the news is correct about everything else but us. If they're wrong about us, they're wrong about. And again, they're looking at this through the lens. So my inclination is obviously to be more cynical when the news is saying everything is fine, everything went back to normal. But at the end of the day, I also know that there's, the other side of it. So, I'm not following it on the ground. I don't have intel on the ground directly like I would in other places. By the way, right now I'm on the border. I'm only 2 kilometers from the border of Lebanon right now, and I'm doing a video and waving across the border because I have a friend who's the son of a general who loves Israel, a general in the Lebanese army.
Wow, that's incredible.
And listen, these are the things that I know about more. Really, is about what's going on, between the two countries. What's going on in Spain? Spain is a hot mess. I know that they just gave citizenship to I don't know. They don't even know how many people they give citizenship to. They just signed they signed a document saying undocumented migrants are now citizens. They didn't know how much there were. There were some, they thought there were 20,000. Now there's hundreds of thousands. Spain is going down the drain, and the rest of Europe as well. And so I'm kind of sitting back and waiting for the day where the Spanish governments are going to start doing things that Israel is doing now to protect themselves, in which they're accusing us of being apartheid, they're accusing us of oppression. They're going to be doing the same thing,
choice.
and
they are going to have.
They're going to have no choice, like Israel has no choice.
Absolutely.
Like we have no choice.
Gedaliah Blum, thank you as always. Stay safe. Gedaliah is the partner co-founder of the Heartland Initiative. He runs the popular X account called Mossad IL.